Hello guys, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we'll be looking at the Scotch Gambit, which usually starts with e4, e5, knight to f3, and knight to c6, defending the pawn. Then we give a pawn in the center, they capture it, which is the best move. And in this position, instead of recapturing here and going into the Scotch game, we play this move. And the best move for black in this position is to give this check. Black can also try to play a move like this, and black can also play this move. We are going to be looking at several variations in this series, but what we will be looking at now in this video is this move, as there are a lot of variations in that move, and I'll be showing you the tricks and trap in that line. If they give a check here, you simply block the check with your pawn, and black can try several things here. They can try to capture here, which is what they will play. Many people will just play this move. After all, this pawn is just being a liability in their position, and when they capture here, you have several options. You can castle your king, you can capture this way, or you capture with your knight. We recapture with our pawn, and in this position they have to move their bishop because their bishop is hit, and if the bishop captures here, we just pick up the bishop and we thank our opponent for their generosity. So in this position, let me quickly show you two quick traps that can easily happen. I have even had a 2000 rated player play this move, and in this position black is just completely losing. What do you play? You play this move, and what's the threat behind this move? You are threatening to give a checkmate here, and there's no good way for black to defend the checkmate except play a move like this. And when they play this move, you just chop off the knight, removing the defender. They can't capture your bishop, because if they capture the bishop, this is checkmate and they are forced to just castle. And when they castle, you can play a move like this and you are just up a piece, just straight out of the opening. So another common mistake for black is to simply play bishop to c5. And in this position, we simply sacrifice our bishop, which is a brilliant move. They accept the sacrifice. Then comes this check, and on the next move, we get our bishop back and we have lead in development. We are just going to castle next, and our opponent has a king that is just tucked in the center of the board. In this position, the best move for black is bishop to a5, and what do we do here? We simply castle, and our opponent will also love to castle. And after they play a move like this, what do? We stop them from castling by bringing our sniper bishop into the game. And in this position, the most common move in this position is simply to block out this bishop so that they can castle on the next move. But we are not going to let them castle. We are just here to cause chaos. And what do? We push our pawn forward, and black is left with several options. They can capture here, they can capture here, and they can just move their knight here, or move their knight here, or move their knight here. We'll be looking at several of those options in this video. If they decide to move their knight away, what do? We simply capture here, and if they decide to castle, the rook is trapped, because after this move, the rook can't go here because we simply capture the rook, and when they capture here, we simply capture the rook and we are left with a winning position. So after we capture here, in case you are wondering what if they just capture, what do we do in this position? We throw in this check thanks to the king that is still sitting on the center of the board, and black is left with several options. They can decide to step away from the check, they can decide to block this way, they can decide to block this way, and they can decide to block this way. We'll be looking at several of those options, but let's take a look at this. If they decide to block this way, what do? You throw in this check first, a check they have to attend to. And if they decide to block the check here, a very natural looking move, you capture here, and you have a lot of pieces piling up on this knight. And when they capture here, you simply pick up this rook. The king is forced to step away. And what do? You simply capture here, opening a discovered attack on the king. And in case you are wondering, why not bring the rook here, open a discovered attack on the queen? Well, that doesn't work because we have some back rank issue that we are nurturing. Let me show you. For example, if we had played a move like this, they simply move the king away, and when we capture here, they capture here, and we have a back rank that is crying, and we just have to give back the queen, and the position is just equal. So instead of doing that, we simply capture here, opening a discovered attack on the king, and they can capture our queen if they wish to. We simply capture here, we check, and when they move their queen, we capture here, and we are left with a completely winning position. Black can try to play this move, hitting this bishop. What do? Simply capture their bishop, and when they capture your bishop, just move your knight, because you have a back rank issue that you are nurturing, and you don't want to get checkmated in this kind of a winning position. So when we throw in this check, what if they decide to block the check this way? What do? We simply remove one of the defender of the knight, and now this knight is just up for grab. If you are wondering, can they just capture here? Well, they can't capture there because we have a pin on the knight. And one logical way to defend the knight is this move. What do? We bring our queen into the party. And what are we doing here? We are just threatening checkmate here. We are threatening checkmate in one. And what can black try here? They can try to play a move like this, trying to keep this square defended. What do? We simply capture here. And after they recapture this way, well, this queen is just pinned. And if they decide to recapture with their pawn, we simply capture this way, and after the trade this way, we capture here with check, And look at this, the king is forced into this square, and we can capture here with check again. And if they decide to block this way, we still have this check, and the king is just getting booted around. The king is finally forced into the square, and we still have this pin looming, and we have a completely winning position and crushing. So after this check, what if they decide to block with their bishop? What do? We simply just capture here, and your opponent is likely going to just recapture, and when they recapture, we capture here with check. And black might be tempted to play a move like this, but if they play that move, we simply play this move, and we are setting up all kinds of discovered check on the king. Black has several tries here. One of the most tempting try is to simply play this move. What do? We simply go this way, and we are piling up, setting up all kinds of discovered check on the king. And so this move doesn't really do anything, because we are just trying to capture here with check. We are just forcing the king into maybe a square like this. And if the king goes there, we have this check, and black is just forced into this diagonal, or they are forced to give up their queen. If they go into this diagonal, for instance, we have moves like this. We have rook to e7 check. The king is forced backward, and then we have this beautiful checkmate. So black can just try to make peace and play a move like this. What do? We still capture here with check, forcing the king into one of these square. And when the king moves into this square, then comes this move, and it's just checkmate in a few moves. Like if your opponent tries to play this move now, trying to hit the queen, what do? Well, we deliver the checkmate like this. This is a double check, so they can't capture here, and they still can't capture here, and that's just checkmate in one. And after we capture here, if they block with their queen, well, that's straightforward. You just pick up the queen. And if they block with this, well, that's also straightforward. You just capture here. If they block with this, for instance, you just capture here. The knight is just about to fall. Like in this position, the best move for black now, according to Stockfish, is to simply castle and stay away from all of that. The engine suggests you play this move, setting up all kind of discovered attack on the king. And black is just completely losing. As one of their best moves here is to go rook f5. Well, you can simply capture here, and you are just chilling. So in this position, what if our opponent is concerned about this pawn push? If they develop their knight here and decide to develop their knight into this square, what do? Well, we play this move. We are threatening to just go here. We are piling up on this pawn, threatening to capture with either our knight, or we capture with either our bishop. And what can they do here? This castling move, which looks natural and tries to take care of the problem, is just a beautiful blunder. Because after the castle this way, what do? We bring our queen into the game, and we are threatening to capture here, and that will be checkmate. We are also adding another attacker to this square, and in this position, this move is forced, because if they don't play that move, we deliver checkmate. And what do? We capture here, and after they recapture this way, we simply capture here with check. And if the king decides to go into this square, well, we'll play this move, and we are just threatening checkmate here on the next move. And if they try to solve their problem by bringing their queen here, trying to solve the checkmate, what do? We deliver a check here. The king is they are forced to give up their knight or give up their queen, and that will be checkmate. We capture the knight, and in this position, they can play a move like this, and we just give this check. And look at the position, we are just completely winning and chilling. So what if they decide to play a move like this, where we sacrifice our bishop? And what's the idea behind this move? The idea behind this move is simple. Just bring back the bishop, and that will just be checkmate. And if they capture here, well, this is also a beautiful checkmate. So the best move for black is simply to push this pawn forward, hitting this our queen. We simply capture here, and after the trade like this, well, we open up a discovered attack on the king, and we are also hitting the queen. And on the next move, we pick up the queen, and we are left with a completely winning position. So after we push our pawn here, they can actually capture here if they wish to. And if they capture this way, what do? Instead of capturing the queen, we do not do that. We simply play a move like this with a simple threat of giving a check here, and maybe this rook will be coming over here, and that will just lead to some devastating attack, if not checkmate. And what can they do here? How can they defend this pawn? There are two ways they can defend this pawn. They can defend this way, and they can defend this way. Let's quickly look at what we do if they defend this way. We simply capture here, and after they recapture, we capture here. We are hitting this knight, and threatening to pick the knight up on the next move. So they can decide to defend the knight this way. What do? We simply capture like this. And notice this, if they capture with their queen, we simply pick up the rook. So they are forced to capture this way. And what do? We simply hop our knight into the party. We are threatening to go here. That will be a fork on this, and on this. We are just threatening all kinds of fork here. And if they decide to try a move like this, trying to protect this, stay away from the fork and all of that, we simply trade the queens. And after the queens are traded, we proceed with our forks, and on the next move we pick up the bishop, and we are left with a completely winning position. So what if they try to defend this pawn with their queen? What do? We simply play a move like this, rook to d1, hitting the queen. And the best move for black in this position is simply to capture here, give up their queen for the rook, and hope you blunder some moves later. But if they decide to play a move like this, well, we strike with this check, and that's just a beautiful checkmate of the king in the center of the board. So what if they decide to capture with the knight? Well, it still leads to similar attacking idea. We simply capture here, and after the trade, our queen goes to b3. We are piling up on this pawn, and if they defend this way, then we bring our rook into the party, and you know the drill. They just have to give up the queen and hope you blunder a few moves later, which you are not going to do. I trust you are going to win this game. In this position, there is another way black can try to defend this pawn by playing a move like this. What do? Well, you don't want to be in a haste to capture here. Capturing there just lets the opponent's king into the square and maybe runs towards safety. So you bring up another attacker into the game, and now they have to find a way to defend this square, because if they don't, you have this move coming in, and you have all kinds of nastiness looming around that king. So what do? They can try to defend this way, and you know the drill. You bring your rook over, and in this position, they just have to give up the rook to avoid checkmate. And I trust you are going to win this position. And now you can actually capture here if you wish on the next move if they allow you. Let me give you one useful tip. Make sure to analyze your games after you play them. Whether you lose or you win, that is how you sharpen your tactical knowledge of any gambit or opening you are trying to play. So make sure to analyze your games, and if you have made it this far into the video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And if there's any variation that I missed that you want me to cover, just make sure to let me know in the comment section. I'll be showing the other lines of the gambit, and not only this bishop move. I'll be creating videos on the other lines. So if you are here to subscribe, kindly smash that subscribe button. And thanks for watching, and I'm out.